My God, guys, listen to this. They're putting me here against my will. I really wanted to talk about real games. I really wanted to talk about Switch games, Xbox games, But you know what they're making me do right now? They're making me make this video about iPhone games. Can you believe them? We're literally going to talk about iPhone games. Everyone knows that we're not that they don't have real games on the iPhone. They're all stupid mobile games. No one wants to play those. I mean, that's what I was told, right? Right? Let's watch the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Hi guys, welcome to the top 15 iPhone/iPad games of 2017. This is a video to show you guys the best games that I have played that came out in 2017 across iPhone and iPad. The games may work for both, or it may just be for the iPhone, but most of them are for both. And you can still play it on an iPad with the 2x zoom, even though, I don't know who does that, but it's possible. Either way, this list is not in any sort of order. The only one that is the true order is number one. Number one is actually my number one game of the year for iPhone and iPad. Everything else is not in any sort of order. It was too hard to come up with an order, so they're all good. So you guys should play these games regardless. So that's where we left it at. So let's start with the first one, Sonic Forces. Now, Sonic Forces actually came out, in December, I believe, in the very beginning of it. And what makes Sonic Forces really good, there's three things that make it really good that separate it from other games like it. This is what a lot of people would call as a runner-style game. And I actually would call it more of a racing game, but there have been people calling it a runner because it kind of is. But three things that differentiate it. One, it's Sonic. All the Sonic characters are in it. The graphics are all stylized, obviously, by Sonic levels and stuff like that, so it's got that going for it. Number two is the fact that you're racing. Like I said before, it's more of a racing game. The reason I say that, it's kind of a mishmash of racing and endless running, because you basically are running through a level. You start at, one point, and then you get to the end. But the difference here is that in other runners, you usually die, and then you have to start from the beginning again, and you do it over and over again until you get a higher score. That's the purpose of them. This one is more like you run through a Sonic level, you're playing against people online in real time, and you're trying to beat them by getting the most coins and getting there the fastest and stuff like that, and the person at the end with the most, points or whatever is claimed the winner. So it's just a lot more fun. You obviously see people on the screen, and they're racing against you, and it's just much more engaging because you're playing against people live. So I find it like the best runner/racer that I've played in a while because of those two reasons. And the third reason being because this is one of the few games that's a free game to download, and it doesn't, it actually feels like it's rewarding you every time you play. Some of these endless runners, when you finish, you get, here's 10 coins, and you have to save up 1,000 coins before you get anything good. Here you get a chest every single time that you finish the match. So that's awesome. You get to unlock a chest, and every time you unlock a chest, there are limits on how many chests you can unlock per day, the usual freemium stuff. But I feel like you're always getting something for when you're actually playing, where some of the games is like, I got 20 coins, and that's it. So those are the three aspects that put that game up for me on this list. I really like the Sonic game. I like the Sonic look of it, obviously all the characters and all the levels, how they're designed, and the fact that it's a real-time game with racing. It's really good. You should check it out. The next one on my list is called Warfriends. I believe that this came out actually really early in the year. This is a really, really fun game for me. Basically, it's a 1v1 or 2v2 game, and you basically are on, me on this side. Let's say it's me versus you. If I'm here at this end of the table, and you're there at that end of the table, we have weapons and stuff that we can switch out, and there's cover here. There's, let's say 3 pieces of cover here, and I can move between the 3 covers. I can poke out, try and shoot you down. You have enemies that you could spawn towards me that I have to kill that will come closer to me. So it's not just 1v1 versus me and you versus the characters. There's obviously other characters on the field that I have to take out, but also watching out for you, because the way that you win the match is ultimately killing, either you killing me or me killing you, the main person. So you have to watch out that you do have to kill those things, because the closer they get to you, if you just let them keep running up, they keep moving little by little across the line, and once they get right next to you, they're obviously hitting directly at you. At that point, you're going to die really quickly. So you have to contain them, and also when you poke out and kill them, make sure your opponent over there isn't poking out at the same time and taking shots at you. And the leveling is awesome. You get new weapons, the usual stuff you get with games like this. But I just find it a really fun game that you guys should check out. I've been playing it for a long time now. having a lot of fun with it. Actually, a change on my list. I know I said only the first one was my true number one. The first two are actually going to be number one and number two are really easy to come up with. So number one and number two are actually their places because I just saw it on the list and just remembered. The next one on this list is actually Into the Dead, and it's basically a zombie game. It has a really good story. The shooting feels really good, but what sets it apart is how good the story's told. How all the different things you do throughout the story. It's not just running and shooting. It's a very different take on how they do it. I don't want to spoil anything, so there's not a lot for me that I want to say in this game. It is free to download, so you should definitely check it out if you're into the shooting and the zombie thing and stuff like that. And it's like I said, it's a different take, and it's a really good story. And the way that they do things, they always mix up the gameplay in different ways. That's interesting and keeps the game different for you to keep playing. Moving on to the next one after that is Crash Club. This game is basically cartoonish graphics. You're dropped in a world, and everyone is in that world. It's all real time, and you're basically crashing into each other trying to get the most points. And they have different game modes and stuff. Basically, think of it as Twisted Metal on the iPhone. You have your car as weapons and stuff. You blow things up, stuff like that. There's nothing else that needs to be said. It's like Twisted Metal for the iPhone. I've been playing it for a while. There's not much like it on the App Store that plays as good as this, that looks as good as this, and is as much fun as this. The amount of times that I scream on my phone while I'm playing that game because of someone killing me, or stuff like that. The amount of good moments in that game stands out and makes this list. The next one after that is South Park Phone Destroy. Now, for those of you who haven't played this is a tactical battle game. Like a Final Fantasy type battle system. But what sets this game apart, and it should be really obvious, is that this is South Park. So if you're into the South Park humor, you're into the South Park cartoon and the story and stuff, it's all here. They did the comedy really well. The jokes that are in here are hilarious while you're playing the game. The characters are all here. They're voiced properly. All that stuff feeds into the gameplay. The gameplay is still good. It's a solid strategy game, but obviously what sets it apart is the South Park world, the South Park jokes, and the flavor of South Park that I really like. So if you're a South Park fan, you need to go check this game out. Moving right along here is Rules of Survival. Rules of Survival is a game, I'm sure a lot of you guys have already heard of PUBG. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Fortnite, the Battle Royale mode. Battle Royale modes are like the thing now, especially PUBG, which has millions of people playing all the time. This is basically that for your iPhone. 100 people, dropped on the map, you go search for weapons and stuff, and for health and whatever. On the map, you'll all get thrown in different areas. The map gets smaller and smaller, and you have to find people, kill people to be the last one standing out of the 100. That's the basic thing about the game. And it's not PUBG, obviously, as good as it. But if you take PUBG and you want it on an iPhone so you can't play it while you're not home on your PC or your Xbox, you can now play something really similar to it on the iPhone. And it's really good at it, too. It's not crap. It's a really good game for people who like the Battle Royale system on the iPhone. I don't think there's anything better out there. There's some other ones that are doing it, too, but this is the best Battle Royale game that's sitting on your iPhones currently. The next one afterwards is Bury Me, My Love. This is a story game. It's a really heartfelt story. It brought a lot of feelings out when people play this game. I don't want to say too much about it, except you guys need to play this game, because obviously anything I say will spoil it. So Bury Me, My Love is a game you all need to play if you're into story and drama, and it's just, and you're gonna get involved in the story. It's a really, really, really good game. You guys need to check that game out. I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to spoil what the plot is or what goes on in the game, but check that game out. It's really, really good. The next game on this list is Modern Combat Versus. The Modern Combat series has been around on phones for a while. Basically, think Call of Duty mashed into an iPhone game. It's basically made by Gameloft. That's basically what they're doing, but it's made really, really well. And this is their 4th or 5th one. This is based on multiplayer only, the Versus edition of it. And it's really good. The graphics are really good on the iPhone. The controls are really well. Even though it's a touchscreen, it's the best you're going to get with the touch controls. It works really well. The graphics are good. There's always people playing. The game's really popular. All the different modes that you expect are in there: team deathmatch, all those. The map's really well designed. There's a lot of variety in them. It's just a really good game if you want Call of Duty on the go, or as smash of Call of Duty and I don't know if I want to say Overwatch, but possibly mixing those two together. Then Modern Combat Versus is something you need to check out on your iPhone if you want to play stuff like that on your phone while you're not home, being able to play Call of Duty and stuff. It's a really good game, a lot of fun, and you guys should check that game out. Next one on this list is Cats. I wrote down Cats, and I actually don't. Let me see if it's actually on this iPad. I don't remember the full actual title of this game, which is really funny. It's actually not even listed when it just says Cats when you actually open it up. Crash Arena Turbo Stars is what it stands for. Basically, if you think of BattleBots, that's basically what this game is. It's got the cartoonish style going for it. You customize your BattleBot, you keep customizing it and changing weapons on it and getting new upgrades and stuff like that, and then you're basically placed in a one-on-one with people online and try to beat their BattleBots up until the end. That's basically the synopsis of the game, but it's really fun. If you think about how much fun BattleBots was to watch on TV when the show was out there, or how much fun they were to play with, they brought this back into the video game form. And it's a lot of fun. The weapons are crazy, and battling someone else is intense and crazy as always. Going back to the list here. The next game on this list is Beat Street. Beat Street is a side scroller beat 'em up game. For all fans of all the people who like beat 'em up from the 80s and 90s, those classics, screams like 90s beat 'em ups, and it's perfectly well done. I can't think of a better beat 'em up that I've played this year that came out in 2017 besides this one. So if you're into beat 'em ups, into that classic look, and you want to play with a friend online, check that game out. The next game on this list is called Game Dev Tycoon. This is a really, really good game. It's basically a strategy / simulation, basically trying to build your own games, basically a studio, and you're building yourself up to get better games made, hire more people, get better studios, and all that stuff, and build games. And you go through the cycle of what a developer would go through. So if you're going to make an action game, and how much money you want to put into it, into the game, and into the art, and into the all the different parts of the game, and how much you want to put into the marketing of the game and all stuff like that, and see your business grow and see how well your game does out there in the public. It's just a really good game and a really well designed, and a lot of options in that game. If you like the idea of playing like The Sims, not The Sims is the closest thing that comes to my mind currently, but like Roller Coaster Tycoon or The Sims and games like that, but you building your own gaming company and building games and stuff like that, and seeing how that's what this game is. So check that game out. The next game on this list is A Normal Lost Phone. I actually played this game very late last year. The game is a game that you guys all must play. It's another one of those story games, so I can go a little bit more into detail about this one because there's more that I can say without spoiling anything. Basically, like the title of the game says, A Normal Lost Phone is a game. It's basically like you open it up and you found someone's phone that they lost. And you start reading through their messages and reading through their email and figuring out what's going on with the guy and figuring out the story and, all these app icons on the phone that you're trying to figure out and what he's into and stuff like that. It's a really, really cool idea and a really cool story. It's $3, I believe, off the top of my head. It's not too expensive, and it lasts for a couple of hours. So, and the story's really cool, but it's really innovative because, how, like I said, there's not many games out there doing where you're looking at someone else's phone and scrolling through the messages, and it's almost like you're using your phone, but it's someone else's phone, and you're seeing their phone and seeing what their story and what their life is like. So, really cool. Check that game out. So, we're up to the top two. So, the true number two on this list is HQ. HQ Trivia is a game that is still taking the gaming, the iPhone and the phone game by storm. That came out a few months ago. Basically, it is a live trivia game every day at 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock. 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock every day. And you go in there, and there's like sometimes 800,000 people playing at the same time. There's a pot that they have of real money. Let's say it's $2,000 for the day. They ask 12 questions. If you're able to get through all 12 questions, whoever gets to the 12th question and gets them all right splits that pot. There's a live host that is in that game that everybody loves the guy. Most people love the guy. That makes the game really entertaining. It's like being on a live game show on your phone, answering these 12 questions. But it's a really interesting thing, and it's literally taking the world by storm. More and more people are playing it. The game gets bigger. It just got released on Android November 1st. Sorry, not November 1st. January 1st, I believe, or January 31st. It got released on Android. So there's even more people playing it now. It's a really, really, really fun game, especially if you're a trivia fan. I haven't actually gotten to the 12th question because the game gets really hard, obviously, to eliminate all the people. But it's still really fun to play and see if you can win some money at the same time, regardless. And it's free. I forgot to mention that. You don't pay anything to play or anything. You'll just win money because that's what they're doing. It's from the creators of Vine. So now, the number one game on this list, which we are going to do a full video on as far as like all the features on it, so we're not going to go crazy into detail on here, is a game called Drop Mix. Drop Mix is a game that was made by Harmonix. The people who made the Rock Band series on the consoles and stuff like that have released this game, and it basically is a board that sits here. It has 5 slots, I believe, of cards that can go into it. You connect your iPhone or iPad to it, and basically it is a music game. So there's 3 modes in the game. One of them is freestyle, and there are NFC cards that you place on it, and all the cards have different parts of songs and the melodies and the chorus and stuff like that. And there's 3 different kind of games that you can play. One of them is freestyle, so you literally just throw 5 random cards in different spots. Like the purple slot might be the bass, and the other one might be the main lead of the song. So you put all 5 random cards out from random parts of different songs, and it's crazy how good they got them to mash up. Like the amount of work that they must have done to get I don't know how many cards there are, but let's say over 100 right now, that you can get, and how good they mash up. Like you could literally just put it here right now and start mashing songs, and you could just sit here and not even play the game, just freestyle, just to listen to the song and get into the how the beat is going and how the song is. Because that's what I do sometimes. Sometimes I just play the game, and I'm not playing one of the actual modes of the game. I'm just literally listening to the music and listening how they mash up. Because the possibilities are endless. Because you mix this card up this time, and now this card goes here. You switch them all up. Now this card goes here. We'll see how that mixes up. And the constant remixes that are thrown, and the constant cards that keep coming out. Basically, the way that they're doing it, they're not blind cards or anything like that. They're like packs of this is Series 1 of Rock, Series 1 of Pop, Series 1 of this. You obviously get a lot of cards with the base set. 90% of the time, I see this game always on sale for $50. It's supposed to be $100. $100 is still worth it. The game is really innovative. I've never seen anything like this done for an iOS app or card game or anything like this. It's really, really cool how this game works and what they're doing with it. It's a game you guys need to check out. Even if you go see a video of it, if you can get it for $50, even better. Basically, you get a bunch of cards with the $50 game, and then they sell packs. Like I said, the Pop Pack Series 1 and then Series 2. And hopefully the game gets big enough where they keep doing it, because I want to see more and more songs that I like get added into it. Because the game is just really cool. The game mode that they have is there's 2. One of them is, if you think of a version of Spit, where you're putting cards down, trying to trump other people, because the cards have levels on them, like level 1, level 2, level 3, and stuff like that, and depending on their color. There's that mode, and then there's one called, I forget the exact name, it's maybe called Clash or something like that, where you can play 2v2. And some of the cards have different abilities on them where they can trump other cards and stuff like that. There's a lot for me to say about that mode. You have to look into that yourselves or watch my video. I'll go more into detail, like I said, about this game. But you guys need to have this game on your radar. Go check it out. I know it's been kind of quiet about this game, and then I see more and more sites talk about it, little by little as they get their hands on it. I really hope it takes off. More and more people get their hands on it. It's a really cool game. It's up to 4 people that can play it. Works, like I said, you do need an iPhone or an iPad, and obviously the unit itself to play it, but it's one of the most interesting and unique things that have come out in 2017 as far as apps go and stuff like that. Really interesting. So that game has been hitting the table for me a lot, even if it's just me playing the music by myself. So that game is really cool. So guys, that is my top 15 games of 2017 for iPhone and iPad. I hope you guys found some new games that you guys haven't heard of before. If you guys want any details on something or anything like that, comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. Those are the top 15 games that I had fun with this year. Comment below. Let me know what games you liked in 2017 that maybe I missed and didn't mention, and what you guys liked. I appreciate you guys for watching, and until next time.
Tech, Gaming Techie is the Gaming Tech, Gaming Techie, Gaming Tech. Eating brekkie is the Gaming Tech, going for a recce is the Gaming